Hey guys, Tacoma guy here. We're going to start a video series on how to use HP tuners. This first video we're going to do an overview on what the windows are and kind of like where everything is, and basically just overall how to click through HP tuners. Hey guys, if you like learning about trucks, modifying your trucks, and off-roading, click the subscribe button here to receive more content. Do you have to have a Toyota to like this site? No, you don't. A lot of these modifications will work for all trucks. So if you like trucks and off-roading, click right here. If you want to learn about modifying your truck and how those modifications work on your truck, click here. Thanks. Alright, so let's begin. When you get up here, this is assuming we've already downloaded the map. It's not that hard to download, and I might do a video on that too. This is the tuning side of it. So you've already saved your file. Let's go ahead and open a file. Here's all my files. Let's go back to the base. This is what I've got for my base file here. These are going to be your overall things. We're not getting into this quite yet. Obviously, open, save, close, stuff like that. One thing you're going to want to know is every time you open HP Tuners, it's going to go to the last file. So every time you open this, read this map up here to make sure you're on the correct map. You could open it, you could be looking at different maps and be on a different map than the map you want to be on. So make sure you're on the proper map. If anything, just go in there, open the map you want to be on. So that's the first thing, is make sure you're on the correct map, because you could actually download a different map than what you're thinking, so you don't want to do that. So make sure you're on the right map first off. Next thing, when you're going through here, basically you're going to have, this is going to be your different sections. These are your map, like overall map sections, right? On the Tacoma, there's not a whole lot. So this one's empty. You're going to have your engine. This is going to be where you're doing, basically all your tuning is going to be in this section here. These are to enable and disable, I think, some of your codes. I have not had to use this yet. That's the diagnostics, transmission, and then this is where you're going to do all your transmission adjusting, okay? There's no diagnostics, there's no fuel system maps, there's no system maps. Your speedo, this is where you're going to calibrate your speedometer, or at least get things closer. It'll help with shifting a little bit, so your tire radius has to change. For your tires, I think it comes in at 280 or something, so you have to change that. Your gear ratios you're going to leave the same. This is like your top speed limiter, if you want to change that or not, I don't know. So those are your overall maps. When you get into your engine maps, you're going to have this section go again across the top here, are going to be your main maps. This is your idle section. There may not be a whole lot to change in this map, but this idle section, there's not really maybe a whole lot to adjust. If you want to tweak your idle a little bit, you can do that. But then when you go on these, so you click on this, now you have these adjustments in here. And what do these adjustments do? So you click on this, you put your mouse on this, and at the bottom, it's going to tell you what it is. Target idle speed. The desired idle RPM in relation to temperature in park or neutral. Okay? Then when you go to the next one, again, it's going to change the definition. Some of these are going to give you a pretty good idea what it is. Some of it's kind of generic. So when you're tuning, part of it is, if you know what a map does, make adjustments, but essentially you're going to want to make a lot of variations of your map, at least day by day, and maybe even if you're tuning that day, maybe even 2 or 3 maps per day that you want to save in a separate file. Because if you don't know what this section does, now this is idle, so it's pretty simple. It's the idle speed. But some of these maps, you might go in there and change something, and then the truck might not run the way you thought it would run. It might not start at all. It might not idle. It could run really weird. And that basically means you have to go back into that same map and undo the changes that you did. So if you have a lot of variations, and whenever you're experimenting and you're not sure what something does, just change that one map, resave the file to a new name, to a new file name, okay? Don't click save. Go in here and hit file and save as, and then you're going to give that file a new name. And probably most likely it's good to have the date, like your base description, the date. If you're doing more than one map per day, you could be, this is July 19th, right? July 19th A, July 19th B, July 19th C. And then the next day, you're going to be July 20th, A, B, C, D. Okay, so save your variations. Unless that A map works 100% fine, you technically wouldn't need to save that map, and you could record over it, but you don't want to lose those changes, okay? Because you might map A might work really good, map B might not work good. So now you can revert back to map A and then make a new revision, and then maybe you can just save that to map B and just erase map B, okay? Or switch to map C. Like when revisions don't work, I delete those, or I save over them. When revisions don't work, I omit that map from my file because I don't want to go back to it thinking that it's a good map, okay? When you have versions that don't work, either delete those maps out, or when you resave the file, save over top of it, because you don't want to, a year from now, go, I think I'm going to load this map, and you forgot that you made that one oops in there, and now you're loading a bad map into your truck, okay? So it's best to get rid of maps that don't work, or transfer them to a different file system so you know those are bad ones. Okay, so that's file saving. So you have your idle, you have your airflow for adjusting your fuel. Again, I'm going to get this map, this video is not getting into the details of everything, I'm just going over in generic. But then you can see as you click these top sections, there's going to be subsections underneath. So airflow, there's going to be general. But if you go into fuel and go to general, see how it's different? So these top ones along the top are your main sections, and these bottom ones are your subsections under that section. So under fuel, now you have these 5 different settings in here. Under spark, you basically have 2. You have advanced and retard settings. And then your torque, basically you're having this one section here. So that's your fuel section. Again, diagnostics, trans diagnostics, there's none. So transmission is going to be your next section. So you go to your general. Again, this is your general on the top. So your main section, general, there's going to be some adjustments here. Your shift scheduling per gear, okay, for low, things like that. Now, this, again, these will be different videos. I'll get into what these do. Shift pressures, right? If it's shifting too soft or too slow, this is kind of the section that you're going in. Torque converter adjustments, this helps you with your lockup. Your torque converter technically is a 2-speed converter in the 4Runner. In the Tacoma, it locks and unlocks pretty quick, so you don't get that 2-speed out of it. Where the 4Runner had, the converter would unlock first and then it would downshift, and you can adjust that in here. And your torque management is your spark retard and things like that. So that's just the overview on how to use these. Again, these are your general how to open your files, calibration details, compare different files. We'll get into this. Tools, windows. This is where you resync your unit to use it. This is where you check your license information, things like that. You can look up your codes in here. That's your general information. This is how you open your files, right? You're going to have a list. I told you how to name your files. Oops. Let's go back in here. This is how you open your files, save your files. Don't accidentally click save, because if you made adjustments to your base map, see how I have a base map? I don't adjust this file ever, okay? Actually, I save a base map, and then I open and reopen another base map just in case I accidentally click save. I still have that original file, so open my base map, and then I copy that and save that right away, and then I work off the copy. And then once I make I modify that copy, now I'm going to make revision number 1 with the date. Revision number, and now you don't have to number your revisions, but the date alone will number your revisions for you. And then just methodically, as the date goes up, your files are getting older and older and older. So then you'll know what revision you're at just by the date code. Again, this is how you read your truck. This is how you write to your vehicle. Now once you modify your vehicle, you're going to go plug in, and you're going to click write to vehicle and then save the steps. And then this we went into. Basically, you're going to be tuning in this engine section and a transmission section. This is really going to be doing all your work, is in these 2 groups. And when you click these groups, you're going to have your main areas up here, and then your sub areas underneath that. And then you're going to have your individual maps and stuff will be in here. Okay? And that's basically overall how you navigate HP tuners for a 2nd generation Tacoma. Alright? If you guys like this stuff, you want to see more, click subscribe, share it to your friends, and click the like button so I can make more stuff. Alright? Thanks. Bye.